Did you know the number one fear that most people have on this planet is what will people think? Number two is death. How is that fear stopping you from living your best life? Today I got to speak with James Burke and he shares some strategies on how you can overcome that fear. He talks about his story of struggle and his journey. I know you're going to want to share this interview with everyone you know. And tell me, why business coaching for you?
Oh, so I was stuck in a corporate career. I mean, I'd done really well really young. So by the age of 26, I was a director earning six figures of a big company backed by some British billionaires who owned the Ritz Hotel, which is a big famous hotel in London. They owned the Daily Mail, the newspaper. So I'd gone from there, and when I was in real estate, and I was just finding it so hard to keep the passion, and I wanted to follow my purpose. I didn't feel like that was for me. It was boring, if anything, and very transactional. So I'd been public speaking for a few years, and I'd started public speaking because I had this big turnaround. I'd gone through all this hardship as a youngster, and then obviously ended up in this corporate career doing well. And that was what I wanted to do more of. So I left real estate, and I got approached by a lot of other companies, some of the biggest companies in the country, in the industry, asking me to go for job interviews and do I want to come and work here, and some really lucrative jobs, but I just couldn't get excited about them. So I ended up doing some consultancy for some of them, and funnily enough, 90-day planning and training their teams. And I was like, oh, I love this. So I started studying in a major way. I completely immersed myself. I've always been big on that. Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to immerse myself and read and study and do the courses. And that's when Action Coach must have jumped on my cookies, because I started seeing Action Coach pop up everywhere. You know, number one in the world, operates in, I think it was 70 plus countries at the time. And I was like, oh, these guys are going to speed my journey up. So I'm going to be able to learn from these. So the investment into the franchise, I just thought, I'm going to get there so much quicker than trying to do this on my own and trying to figure out this whole industry on my own. So yeah, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me. That's how I ended up coaching.
What was the public speaking that you were doing before you joined Action Coach?
So I first started out, so at 16 I was homeless, and I mean properly homeless, sleeping rough, sleeping outdoors, abandoned buildings, etc. And that went on for about 3 years. At 19 I turned pro, because I was boxing at a high level, so I was boxing for England at the time, and I failed in the Olympic qualifiers. So I decided to turn pro and try and earn some money. And then in my early 20s, my boxing career was ended. I was diagnosed with osteoporosis after breaking my jaw in a big televised fight, and my boxing career was over. So this was kind of like identity iceberg stuff. I'd lost my identity, because my identity was the boxer. And when we talk about rise and goal setting, I'd lost my vision, my future, my whole destiny at that point. So I was exactly, yeah. So I was like seriously depressed. And a friend of mine killed themselves not long after that. I was seriously depressed. I was suicidal myself. And then a friend sent me, when I needed it most, I was in a real dark place. And he'd been talking about this motivational speaker for years, and I'd never listened to him. And he's an American guy, he's called Eric Thomas. So he sent me this video of Eric Thomas, and I ended up watching it for whatever reason that day. And his message hit me. He'd been homeless as well, so I really connected with him. He's very aggressive, very angry, actually, Eric Thomas. But then he introduced me. He brings out this other speaker called Inky Johnson in one of his videos, and he'd had a sports career that was ended early. So I was like, oh, so I really connected with him. And then he read that stat: the average CEO reached $50 a year. And I was so impressionable at that time, and I was enjoying these guys so much. I thought, I'm just going to do 100. So I started reading 100 books a year at age 23, and at 22, 23, and that's what I was saying. By the age of 26, 27, I was a director for one of the biggest agencies in the country, earning six figures plus, and my whole life had turned around. So the keynote was, I started at my old high school for free, the high school that had kicked me out, funnily enough, at one of my old colleges, and just doing free gigs, and that's how the public speaking started. And now I'm lucky enough to speak all over the world. So it's probably been about 7 years, and that's Been quite a long journey, but that was definitely one of the things that drew me to Action Coach, was going to be able to be on stage and help a leveraged audience.
So, for people listening, what would be one tip that you could give them, where to go to find a tool or book that you could recommend that would help them overcome that fear?
I would start, the fear of worrying about what people think. There's a great book from Marissa Peer called I Am Enough. So she created rapid transformational therapy, which is something that she taught to Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins uses regularly in his seminars and events. Her book, I Am Enough, is fantastic. And she says that we all have these surface level problems that are really caused by beliefs that we've got. But the ultimate, the core, if you go really deep, the core belief that we've all got that causes pain and suffering is, I'm not enough. Not enough what? For what? Not enough what? Not enough to be loved. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not brave enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not tall enough, short enough, young enough, or old enough. I'm not enough to be loved. And actually, if you can just realise you are. So when I said two of my sisters passed away, the first one that passed away, Shell, she died by way of suicide. And one of her biggest things was feeling lonely and feeling unloved. And I did the eulogy at the funeral. I was stood out looking at throughout the church, and it was packed right to the back, people queuing outside. There were people that couldn't get in the church. She was so loved. There were so many people there that were absolutely heartbroken that she was gone, but she kept telling herself this story. I'm not loved. I'm not enough to be loved. We're all loved. Love is at the core of everything in the universe. And if we can overcome that belief, everything else is just a little bit easier.
What are you visualizing now that you've achieved the 1100 in the stadium?
Yeah, so the next one is 20,000. That's the next big goal. There's a particular stadium that I want to hit 20,000. And then I think one day, wouldn't it be cool? So 20,000 is about the biggest that's ever been done now. Wouldn't it one day be really cool to go and do Wembley Stadium, the National Stadium in England, 80,000, 90,000? Wow. Imagine impacting that many people at once and getting that many people. The energy in that hall with 1,100 people was incredible. You could feel the emotional shifts. You could literally feel the energy. Imagine that with 80,000. So I think that's the ultimate North Star is. But ultimately, just keep doing, just keep helping and keep growing this and helping as many people change the business, change their life, and go from there.
Hats off to you for committing to your learning by listening to this podcast. And if you'd like some help implementing some of these strategies, then click the link in the description to find your local action coach. They can help you put these strategies into action and take your business and your life to the next level. In the meantime, like and subscribe so that you're the first to get our next episode. We'll see you soon.